What could possibly go wrong? It's just a coffee, I thought to myself as I walked into the cafe. I was feeling optimistic, though a little nervous. I had met Michael on Tinder, and he seemed perfect. Long conversations, shared interests, a great sense of humor. Everything pointed to this being a nice date. When I walked in, I spotted him right away. He was sitting by the window, waiting, smiling broadly as if he already knew me. And while it wasn't surprising, since we had exchanged several messages, his smile could have lit up the entire cafe. I sat down across from him, light-hearted and ready for a pleasant conversation.
Hi, Anya. How are you feeling?
Michael stood up to greet me with a kiss on the cheek. He was charming, smiling, and well-dressed. He actually looked better than his pictures, which was a nice surprise. We sat down, ordered coffee, and started talking about everything and nothing. At first, everything was great. Michael talked about his work, his hobbies, his travels. Some stories were funny, some more touching. The conversation was flowing naturally until the moment he asked me a rather odd question.
You know what? Maybe I should introduce you to my mom.
I felt a chill run down my spine as if someone had placed a cold hand on my back. I furrowed my brows, trying to figure out if I had heard him correctly. Your mom, on a first date? I asked, trying to stay calm.
Well, I thought you might like to meet her. This is my family's cafe, and my mom often comes here. I think she'd be happy to meet you. It's kind of a family place.
He explained, a bit embarrassed. I looked around the cafe. It was a small, local place, and the atmosphere was quite cozy. There was something endearing about his idea. Michael looked at me expectantly, as if waiting for my response. Okay, if it's important to you, I replied, though a sense of unease began to grow inside me. I thought it could just be a way for him to share something important about his life. A few minutes later, Michael took out his phone and made a call.
Mom, I'm at the cafe with Ania. I'd like you to come by, meet her. Can you be here in 10 minutes?
He said enthusiastically. The conversation lasted only a few seconds, and Michael hung up. Mom will be here soon. I'm so glad you agreed to meet her. She really loves meeting new people. And then I felt it, that nagging sense that something straight out of a movie was about to happen, something I wasn't prepared for. It took maybe 2 minutes before the door of the cafe opened and a woman walked in. At first glance, I could tell she wasn't what I expected from Michael's mother. She was in her 50s of average height and dressed in a rather odd way, as if she had stepped out of the 80s. She wore a vintage-looking dress, too much makeup, and immediately made her way over to our table.
Well, what a lovely girl. Michael never told me about you,
she said, sitting down next to me without being invited, as if the situation was as natural as a conversation with an old friend. I was in shock. Michael began shifting uncomfortably in his seat, unsure how to react. His mom started asking questions that had nothing to do with a casual first date.
So how do you two know each other? What do you have in common? Michael never told me he met someone so interesting. Anya, you look so beautiful. Michael said you like to cook. That's wonderful because I love cooking. Michael, remember when I made that chicken and rice dish? Maybe Anya would like to try it.
What? She asked, looking at me intently. Michael didn't seem to know what to do but stayed silent, waiting for me to respond. I tried to smile, but everything started to overwhelm me. Michael wasn't reacting. Instead of focusing on me like I'd imagined on this date, I felt like a third wheel, a guest at a family gathering.
Well, how's it going? Michael said you're very resourceful and that you know about photography.
She continued. It was too much. Michael kept looking at me, but I didn't see any real reaction in his eyes. This wasn't a coincidence. This wasn't just a casual introduction. He really wanted me to meet his mom on our first date. This was a test. Finally, when the tension had reached its peak, Michael looked at me with a questioning look.
Maybe you should tell Mom about your career plans,
he asked. Michael, I responded, trying to keep calm, though my heart was pounding in my chest. I think I should go now. This has been nice, but maybe next time. I stood up, quickly glancing at Michael. His face had turned pale, but he didn't say anything. His mom was staring at me, looking as though she didn't understand what had just happened. Before I could leave, Michael quickly stood up and said,
Wait, maybe this wasn't the best idea. I'm sorry.
But it was already too late. I just couldn't do it. I felt like I was part of some weird experiment, one where I had no control. And Michael, he probably had no idea that his help in family integration had turned our date into a total disaster.
Thank you for watching. We're so glad you spent your time with us. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It's a huge motivation for us to create more content. And make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new uploads. Thanks for your support, and see you in the next video.